So, dear students, good evening to all of you. I am Dr. Dinesh Kumar, Principal Scientist from Division of Agronomy, IARI, New Delhi. I'm happy to continue this topic, factors affecting plant growth. Most of the part in this lecture have been covered. Whatever is left, we are going to discuss that. And as you know, today is 12th February 2025, and time is about 6 p.m. So glossary was discussed, and you remember how the factors were classified. And these factors you can check again: external factors, internal factors, and you have three external factors: environmental, management, socio-economic. Abiotic and biotic are environmental factors, and we were discussing abiotic factors, and we have covered most of the abiotic factors also. Today we will discuss the role of water. Role of water and atmosphere means your carbon dioxide concentration in the atmosphere, and then we will discuss management and socio-economic factors. So how these factors will affect the growth of the plant. Just I am flashing the slide that have been covered. And also, I think role of light is also left, that we will see today. Temperature is covered. If you remember heat unit, I hope the concept of heat unit is clear to you. And vernalization, you can see more on vernalization. And then high temperature, low temperature influences on plant growth. So today we are going to start moisture or water. Role of water is very, very important. Yesterday, I think I started this. So first life on earth came on water. Water is very, very important. It maintains hydration in the protoplasm, necessary movement and uptake of nutrients, translocation of food, and moderation of temperature. So definitely excess, both kind of stresses, whether it is shortage or droughty condition, or it is flooding or excess moisture, both are not good for the growth, except case of rice. So when deficit happens, moisture shortage happens, closing of stomata can happen under drought conditions. And then reduced transpiration means reduced photosynthesis, reduction in cell division and elongation, and reduced growth and crop yield. So there are many aspects related to moisture deficit. The topmost is availability of nutrient. Availability of nutrient is also affected. Otherwise, water itself is also important for plant growth. You know, role of water in photosynthesis and role of water in maintaining the hydration of the protoplasm. Hydration of the protoplasm is also necessary because protoplasm is basis of life. If your protoplasm is dried in the cell cannot remain live. So hydration of protoplasm is necessary. And you know, direct role of water in photosynthesis is also there. So ultimately, if there is shortage of water, the growth of the crop will be affected adversely and yields will be decreased due to water shortage. And now you see, this is quite interesting. I wanted to discuss it yesterday. So now you can see this picture. This picture tells us the interaction of water or interaction of moisture and nutrients. So many of you or all of you should be knowing that there is positive interaction between nutrient supply, nutrient uptake, and water availability. Water availability. If you are short of water, you cannot use heavy doses of fertilizer or more doses of fertilizer. If water supply is low, the response by crop is also to the low level of nutrients. If you can afford more water, you can apply more nutrients. That is positive interaction between water supply and nutrients. So you can see this case. In this case, this is the case of rapeseed. Rapeseed, you know? Brassica.
Yes.
Brassica. What is the name of rapeseed? Mustard is Brassica.
Campestris.
Brassica campestris. देखना यार, इसको रेपसीड जो ना तोरिया को कहते हैं हम लोग. तो Brassica campestris variety Thoria. Brassica campestris variety Thoria. And these people in Canada, they call it simply rape. Rape, they call it, and that is actually canola. They have given the name canola. Canola means it is not a crop actually. Canola is Canadian oil. Canola is Canadian oil, which is, they say that it is free from erucic acid. And they have named it canola, and it is thoria actually. Rape is thoria. Toria. It is oilseed crop which is of a shorter duration in India. Brassica campestris variety thoria. And there may be some other name for it. So you can see this is thoria, means shorter duration, but here the duration may be longer. This may be from America. So you can see the message here is that on the x-axis, you can see nitrogen applied. The rate of nitrogen application are relatively high here. 56, 112, 168, 224, etc. Nitrogen applied. But this nitrogen applied, when this nitrogen is applied under dry land condition. You see, this is the line. This is the line for dry land condition. Means here you can get highest yield at 224, but this highest yield is very low. This highest yield is very low. So the nitrogen requirement is also low. Nitrogen requirement is also low to get the optimum yields here. But you see the case of irrigated crop, irrigated rapeseed. You see yields are very high. Response is very high. Irrigated crop means it is getting sufficient water. So nitrogen level is same, variety is same, soils are same. The only difference is water availability. If water availability is more, then response to nitrogen is also more. You can see highest response. At highest level, you can get at about 2000 kilogram of yield. But here, you are getting less than 900 kilogram, just 800 kilogram. So you can see the role of water. Everything is same except the water. So there is positive interaction of nutrient and water. So therefore, the moisture supply is very, very important to realize the full potential of nutrients. Especially here, in this case, is it nitrogen? Is it clear, Palash?
Yes, sir.
This point is clear. So nutrient and water,
yes,
they have positive interaction. And if you want to read in detail, I told you about a book which is Soil Fertility and Fertilizers by Tisdale, Nelson, and there are many authors. So you can see that one chapter is there on nutrient-water interactions. So you can study this topic in detail. Now see another important point. No doubt that increasing levels of water supply and increasing level of nutrients have positive reactions. Positive interaction means your yields may be high, but under some cases, the quality may be affected adversely. The quality may be reduced. Quality in terms of protein percentage. So protein percentage, the quality may decrease because of increased supply of water. If you remember law of Michel, this nitrogen yield inverse law. You remember nitrogen yield inverse law. As you increase the concentration of nitrogen in produce, the yield declines. The growth and yield declines. If you reduce the concentration of nitrogen in plant tissues, then yield increase. For example, pulses, they contain higher level of nitrogen in their biomass, so their yield is low. Sugarcane, potato, many crops contain less concentration of nitrogen or protein. Their yields are higher. This is inverse yield nitrogen law. So accordingly here, if you want quality, if you want more protein, then definitely yields will be lower. In case of oil seeds, you need to produce oil. So production of oil consumes more energy. Synthesis of oil consumes more energy of the plant. So therefore yields are lower. But in case of cereals like your maize, rice, wheat, plant consume less energy to produce carbohydrate. these crops or these food items are rich in carbohydrate, and synthesis of carbohydrate require less energy. Therefore, the yields are higher, grain yields are higher. But in case of oil seeds and in case of pulses, they synthesize protein or oil, which are energy rich. So synthesis of these materials consume a lot of energy of the plant. So therefore, their biomass, their productivity is lower. So this is by genetics. So here also you can see on x-axis, it is available water per meter in 100 centimeter, how much water is available, 10, 15, 20. And this is for barley. This example is for barley, a cereal crop containing 10 to 11% protein. So now you can see on x-axis, water availability is increasing. On y1 axis, you can say this is the yield of barley. On y2 axis or z axis, right side axis, you have protein percent from 10, 15, 20 like this. Now first you see the yield. What happens to yield? So if the water supply is increasing, the yield is increasing at all the level of nitrogen. See the N0. This is the yield increase at N0. So you are increasing water supply, yield is increasing even at control. Without addition of nitrogen, just you have added water, your yield has increased. Next, you have used 60 kg nitrogen per hectare. Your yield has also increased with the increase in water supply. You have one more level of nitrogen, 120. Here also the yield has increased with increasing supply of water. The last level is 180. Here also yield has increased with increasing level of water. Okay, this is fine. Now what happens, and also you got highest yield when the levels were highest, 180. At 180 highest yield followed by 120, 60 and 0. So this is one side of the coin. See the other side of the coin. Here at N0, now the water supply is increasing, the protein content is declining. If you have N0 control, the protein content is 11%, roughly you can say 11%. If your nitrogen supply is 60, the protein content, although declining, but it is more than 11%, more than control. Similarly, at N120, protein content is declining continuously due to increasing supply of water, but it is higher than what you got at 60. At 180, the protein content is declining with the increasing supply of water, but it is highest. It may be somewhere around 14%. So the protein content may vary from 11 to 14%. Highest protein content is obtained when your nitrogen level is high. This is one point. Second point, we can say that the protein content is declining as the yield is increasing. So you see N0. If you increase the water supply, your yield is increasing, but protein content is decreasing. In all the cases, even you have used N180. N180, you have got the highest yield. But when you increase the water supply, more water you are giving, the protein content is continuously declining. When the water availability was just 5 centimeter, say 5 centimeter on the left side, at 5 centimeter, you can have protein level like this, up to this, you can go this side. Sorry, maybe 18%, 17%. Lower water supply, more protein. So is it okay for you? Would you get the point? Means if you want more and more yield, so you can increase the yield in cereals, in barley, by increasing the fertilizer doses. But you need to increase the water availability also. But under such cases where you are increasing yield by increasing the water availability, then the protein content will decline. The classical example is from Jyoti's estate from Madhya Pradesh, where the MP wheat is very popular in India. You know, MP wheat, why it is popular? Because it is containing more protein. The chapati making quality of MP wheat is considered better. Why chapati making quality is better? Because it contains more protein. Is it true, Jyoti? MP wheat contains more protein?
But sir, actually, I'm not from MP. I'm from Rajasthan.
Okay, no problem. But you are staying there. Your teacher must be telling you that it is a brand. MP wheat is a brand in Delhi. Do you know it? Like Basmati rice is a brand name. Like your Nagpuri Santra is a brand name. Darjeeling tea is a brand name. Similarly, this MP wheat is a brand name. It is sold in Delhi. Every wheat becomes MP wheat in Delhi. Palash bring it from Bengal and he would say that this is MP wheat. Based so uh, this MP wheat is famous because it contains more protein. If it is genuine, and why it contains more protein? Because basically it is grown on less irrigation or under rain-fed conditions or under 1 or 2 irrigations. So therefore, the yields are less. So under these conditions, the dilution effect happens. The dilution of your nutrient contents reduces. So because of dilution, you are increasing the biomass, the nutritional composition will decline as you increase the biomass. Now see water stress and nutrient availability. So definitely nutrient availability will decline. As you know, water is necessary for activity of microbes that decompose the organic matter. Water is also necessary for soil solution. Soil solution means water plus nutrients. So there will not be any soil solution if sufficient moisture is not there in the soil. And then movement of ions from their source of origin up to the plant roots happens through diffusion, mass flow, or root interception. Then for that flow of nutrients, you need water. And of course, high or low level of water stress can be harmful because under flooding, high water availability or excess water availability, under waterlogged conditions, there is reduced supply of oxygen and it restricts the root growth because of reduced root respiration and reduced ion uptake. So in excess water, plant will die, plant will suffer from water stress itself, means it will be short of water. Plant cannot take up the water, though water is around because shortage of oxygen. For the root activities, you need oxygen. So therefore, the uptake of nutrients and uptake of water will be adversely affected under the flooding of waterlogged conditions. Or in both the cases, under excess or direct or deficit of moisture, reduced activity of soil organism responsible for nutrient transformation and availability. So availability will decline. High moisture may induce certain diseases and enhance activity of certain crop pests. It has been reported. I'm not going into the details. Now, can we modify the soil or plant moisture? Yes, we can modify. If there is drought condition, if there is shortage of water, we can apply irrigation. Let us apply as simple as possible. Then drainage, if it is excess water, go for drainage. So we can avoid the losses caused by excess water or flooding. Third one is mulching, can be practiced under drought conditions. And it can be mechanical mulch, crop residues, or polythene mulch. And of course, in dry land, we can use anti-transpirant to reduce the transpiration rate. So in this case, you see, mulching can be done by mechanical methods, crop residues, and polythene. So what is mechanical mulch? You can try, any one of you can try.
Sir, mechanical dust mulch
Yes.
comes under mechanical.
You are right. You are absolutely right. So dust, you can call it dust mulch or mechanical mulch. So you can have shallow hoeing of the upper layer of the soil. You can do hoeing, H-O-E-I-N-G, hoeing. खुरपी से उसको थोड़ा सा you break the capillaries. जो capillaries rise होता है ना, उनको break कर देते हैं. ऊपर से dust की तरह वो लग जाता है. This is called mechanical mulch. Crop residue, you understand, crop residues are leftover of the crops, and polythene is also used. So polythene has both positive and negative roles. Positive role is that if it is not continuous, if polythene mulch is not continuous, it can raise temperature. ये उल्टा भी कर सकती है polythene mulch, क्योंकि कई बार ये होगा कि it can raise the temperature, and there are reports that it can increase volatilization of ammonia also. So I do not know. One need to be very, very careful about using polythene mulch. So we will start this slide in the next link. Now we have 1 minute time. So if you have any question before joining the link too, you can ask in this 1 minute. कोई भी आपके दिमाग, not from this part, but if you have anything in your mind, you can ask. कोई भी समस्या हो, आप बात कर सकते हो.
Sir, after flooding,
Yes.
सर जैसे वाटर सिचुएशन के बाद जब भी सनलाइट आती है तो बोलते हैं पिजन पी में विल्टिंग की जैसे विल्ट बहुत तेजी से होता है.
You repeat it. पहला पार्ट पता नहीं
सर
लगा.
पिजन पी में सर आफ्टर सबमर्जेंस या जो फ्लडिंग है उसके बाद सनलाइट आने से विल्ट की सिचुएशन क्रिएट हो जाती है.
Yes, there may be some growth of the fungus under waterlogged conditions. It may favor the fungi. You are right. But I need to check it. From common sense, it is correct. क्योंकि हमारे भी जो वो होते हैं ना, दाद हो जाते हैं, वो ह्यूमिड कंडीशन में ज्यादा होते हैं. फंगल ग्रोथ जो है ना ह्यूमिड कंडीशन में होती है. It may be correct. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. This may be correct. So we go to next link. Thank you. I stop sharing. So dear students, welcome back to the class. And now we continue with the next abiotic factor, which is, you remember, warmth plus light. So light is really energy source, ultimate limitation for photosynthesis, for growth of the plant is your energy source. Because it is necessary for photosynthesis, this light, you need a specific light intensity. For better growth of the plant, you need fixed light intensity. It is not that one intensity will fit for all the crops. It is not that one shoe size will fit all the feet, all the people. You will have different shoe size for different people. You will have different light intensity requirement for different crops. Similarly, duration of the light during the daytime or darkness period during the night. And also quality of the light. Quality means it has got 7 different colors. So light intensity, light duration, light quality, these 3 aspects are important so far plant growth is concerned. So quality, in few studies, people have made, tried to get photosynthesis done in different colors of light. So you have 7 color of light. They tried to do it in red light, blue light, green light, whatever light, 7 colors you have. And they have found that under certain colors, you get more photosynthesis than other colors. We'll discuss it. And of course, the light intensity, duration. These 2 things vary with the latitude. Latitude, the place on the earth. And of course, the climatic conditions. Particularly your cloudy weather. Cloudy weather can affect the light coming to the ground. So there are many aspects, many factors that affect the light on the earth. And finally, it establishes the ultimate yield level. Now, you know, light intensity, it is part of the radiation, incoming solar radiation. So solar radiation gives us temperature, gives us light also. So now we will start with light intensity. So if you remember the definition of temperature, what was definition of temperature?
The degree of hotness and coldness of an object.
Good.
The intensity of heat.
Yeah. You can say either way. Both are correct. So that is your temperature. Similarly, we need to define the light intensity. Can you see this new slide, light intensity? Is it visible to you? Okay. Intensity is like brightness. How bright a light is. Sometimes you see light is not so bright. your eyes are okay. Many times you need to wear glasses, or many times you need to put cap on your head. That means light is too bright that your eyes are not able to accept it. So the brightness of light is called as intensity. Higher the brightness, higher is the intensity of light. Okay. It is measured as the rate at which light is also considered as a form of energy. Light energy is delivered to a unit of surface, to a unit area or unit surface, or energy per unit time per unit area. So this light will fall on all parts of the earth. It will not see that it is Dinesh Kumar, I will not fall at him. It is Palash, I will fall at him. It will fall at all the object indiscriminately. It does not discriminate. It will fall equally on the plants, equally on the water, or whatever you have on the earth. It will fall. It will not discriminate. So whatever surface you have, you can have the area of that surface and the intensity of the light. How much is falling, the rate. Now, there were many units in the olden days. In the olden days, when I started studying, my teacher taught me that it is the foot candle. Foot candle is the unit of light intensity. But later on, it was taught that now it is lux, L-U-X. Lux is the unit of intensity of light. But now it has been finalized that lux and foot candle are very old units, and they have been replaced by Langley. So latest unit of light intensity is Langley, L-A-N-G-L-E-Y. It is written by English letters L-Y, small l and small y. This is the unit. So this unit is a unit of energy distribution over an area. You know, area is it 1 meter square, 1 centimeter square, 10 centimeter square? So how much is the energy reaching that surface? So it is also called as density of heat. Density of heat through light. Through light. Used to measure solar radiation or incoming solar radiation. Unit was named after Samuel Pierpont. So it was the scientist. Yeah. Langley. 1834-19. In 1947, he has given this unit. And you can see 1 Langley is equivalent to, इसको याद रखने की जरूरत नहीं है, ज़्यादा load लेने की जरूरत, but you can see we can convert 1 unit of energy into another unit of energy. So you can say 1 Langley is equal to 1 thermochemical calorie per square centimeter. मुझे पता नहीं है क्या होता thermochemical calorie, बस just I am showing you. 41840 joule per meter square. This is another unit. If you talk in terms of joule per meter square, 1 Langley. And 1 Langley is also equal to 11.622 watt hours per square meter. But what you can see in all the 3 cases, it is for a fixed area. On fixed area, how much energy is reaching through the light. Now you can see this picture. It tells us the photosynthesis rate as affected by the light intensity. Photosynthesis on the y-axis, this is also known as carbon assimilation or photosynthesis rate. It is measured in the unit milligram carbon dioxide fixation per decimeter square hour. Per decimeter square hour. This is the unit of photosynthesis, carbon fixation. And on x-axis, you have light intensity written by Ly per minute. Ly per minute. So you can see maple, oak, orchard grass. These plants are basically temperate plant. So you can see their light requirement is less. As you increase the intensity of light on x-axis, their growth or their photosynthesis rate does not change. Rather, it has shown slight decreasing trend in maple up to 1 Langley per minute. So you can see light requirement of temperate kind of plant is lower, but tropical plant needs more light for photosynthesis. Like maize plant, it needs bright sunshine hours, more brightness for its growth. Is it okay? So you can see for maize, the light intensity requirement is more. For tropical plant, like temperature, Similarly, for light intensity, requirement of a tropical plant is more. Now you see, this is also case of maize, makkah, or corn. On x-axis, you have light intensity. On y-axis, you have CO2 fixation. Almost same thing. So here you can see, but they have got 3 different varieties or 3 different plant types, where in one they have got leaf area index of 1.8. In another, they have got 3.3. In another, they have got 4.4. So it is not that whatever light is received, it is not that plant will be able to utilize all the light. It depends upon the leaf area, how many leaves our plants are having. If our plants are having less leaf, then the leaf area index will be less. Leaf area divided by land area. So this is the ratio. How many layers of leaf can be layered on the, or how many times leaf layers are there over the ground area. So generally speaking, if you want to make best use of higher light intensity, then you should have more leaves. You should have more leaves or more leaf area index. Then benefit of this light intensity can be derived. So in this case, you can see in all the 3 leaf area index, 1.8 means less, medium, and more. The photosynthesis is increasing. The photosynthesis rate is increasing, but it is lower. It is lower in case of when you have less leaf area index. The rates are lower. You see, if you have less, they are on the lower side. If you have medium, then they are in the middle. You will find more zero in the middle part. Yeah? And if it is square, this leaf area index is 4.4. You can see it is increasing up to the highest level, up to the level 20. So the message here is that if you have higher light intensity, the major advantage can be taken when your leaf area index is also high. Now, sometimes you can have higher light intensity and your plants are not able to tolerate high light intensity. If you want to grow turmeric under tropical environment or subtropical environment, then you need to grow it under the shade, under the reduced light intensity. So I've seen, or you can also see that many times this turmeric is grown under agroforestry system so that light intensity is reduced. Similarly, there are many grasses in the South India, particularly in Kerala. Those grasses are shade loving, and those grasses can be grown under agroforestry system of coconut and some other agroforestry system. In Kerala, they do keep animals also, milking animals, and they feed these grasses which are grow under the shade. Those grasses cannot tolerate high light intensity. So other alternatives are going for agroforestry, mixed cropping, or intercropping. In intercropping also, you can take there can be 2 components or 3 components. One is main crop. Main crop is generally taller in the intercropping system. So the other crop, intercrop, which is sensitive to high light intensity, can be grown as an intercrop, so that some shading effect may be there from the main crop, from the main crop. So such kind of manipulations are possible, or one can use net also. Some nets are available that can reduce the light intensity, but that will be a costly affair. That will be a costly pre-position. So therefore, that is not practical. So you can check it. Now, light intensity and duration are important for crop growth and development. Both are important because photosynthesis, suppose other way around, if your light is not very bright, if light intensity is low, then plants are long, small leaves, bud blades, poor pollination, and food quality. So sometimes if the need of light is not met and plant is not getting sufficient light, they can be thin. Their leaves cannot be pale yellow, something like that. And branching can be reduced. So growth is reduced under low light conditions in some plants. And rather, photosynthesis can also be stopped at high light intensity. So both way, at high light intensity or at low light intensity, as per requirement of the plant, the yields or growth will be adversely affected. But plants differ in their light requirement, as I have told you. The temperate plants require less light intensity and tropical plants require more light intensity. For details, we need to study individual crop. I teach rice crop, so I tell students that what is the light intensity requirement of rice. So it is to be checked for individual crop. If you have interest, I can share the data. What is the ideal light intensity for different tropical and subtropical crops? And certain seeds also require light to break dormancy. Normally, water or moisture, oxygen, and temperature. The three things are needed for germination. But in case of lettuce, to break dormancy and for germination, you need light. There may be a few more exceptions where light is required to break dormancy and receive germination. Next is light duration, photoperiod. So what is photoperiod or photoperiodism? Light duration or photoperiod is the amount of time a plant is exposed to light. How long you are exposing a plant to light, that is photoperiod. And photoperiodism is behavior of plant in relation to day length, particularly flowering, is called as photoperiodism. Behavior of plants in relation to day length, particularly with respect to flowering, is called as photoperiodism. Photoperiod controls flowering in many plants. Initially, scientists thought that light period triggered the flowering, and other responses described short day or long day, depending on the photoperiod. So most of the times, plant physiologists thought that plants should get minimum hours of day length or minimum hours of minimum hours of light for flowering. But later on, it was found that it is darkness which is important for flowering in the plant. It is darkness period which is important for flowering of the plant. It is not light. And every plant needs some critical period of photoperiod or critical period of darkness. It is not that it is 12-hour fixed. It is not 12-hour fixed. For some plant, it can be 10-hour light period or 14 hours dark period. So it varies from plant to plant. There is no any fixed. Therefore, plant physiologist has said that it is a critical period, means critical period of darkness and light at which flowering can happen in the plant. That has been decided. That has been referred as long. Based upon that, plants have been referred as long day, short day, and day neutral plant. So because initially people thought that it is the day length which is affecting the flowering, they did not pay much attention to the darkness. Therefore, the name came short day plant, long day plant, day neutral plant. Otherwise, actually, these plants are long night plant, short night plant, and a night neutral plant. Actually, they should have been named like this. But since by convention, people say them long day, short day, day neutral, this is okay. Now it's in fact, it is not photoperiod, but rather length of the uninterrupted. This darkness period has to be uninterrupted. No interruption should be there. That is critical to flower development of flowering. So now see how short day plant is defined. Flower means they're flowering. They flower with fewer than a certain number of hours of light in each 24-hour period. So critical means less than the critical photo period is required for these plants, short day plant. Long day plants, they flower with more than a certain number of hours of light in each 24-hour period. There is some fixed minimum level of day length that has to be there, and then beyond that, if you have excess light, no problem, but minimum level of light period has to be there. Day neutral, which flower at the same time, irrespective of the photoperiodic condition. They are not affected by day or night length. See, to understand clearly, these are three examples. This is 24-hour cycle. Yellow color means the light, and this dark color is your gray color, means your darkness. So try to understand first one. This is the critical period. Suppose by some observation, by some experience, somebody has fixed, say, 12 hours as critical period. Somebody has fixed. So this is about short day plant. Short day plant means long night plants. So here you can see the light period is longer. Up to this, it starts here and it goes up to here and it crosses the critical period limit. It enters into the dark period, then no flowering. In another case, the shorter day length is shorter than the critical. This yellow is shorter than the critical. So here no problem, because here the darker period is longer than the critical. Darker period is longer than the critical. So plant will flower. In another case, the darker period is longer than the critical period. But in between, during the dark period, you have given a flash of light for 10 minutes only, and plant will not flower. So this plant was depending upon the dark period, for flowering. So it did not flower. Although you see, total darkness period was even more than critical here, but still you have given a flash of light, so it has not flowered. Therefore, it is long night plant or short day plant, you can see. Now see another case. This is about long day plant or short night plant. The second case. In this case, they are not very strict. Long day plant are not very strict because they need shorter night. They need a small period in the night. They are not very obligate. They are not very strict. So in this case, you can see first case. Suppose this is the critical period of darkness. You need here shorter night. So see the first case. The night is shorter than the critical. The darkness is shorter than the critical period. It flower. It is happy. No problem. Give me less dark. I am happy. Second case, you are giving more darkness than the critical. Then it will not flower. Light doesn't matter to it. See the third case. In third case, even the darkness is sufficient. Dark period is enough. It is more than the critical. And you have given a night break. You had suddenly given light here. It does not mind. It did not mind. It flowered. But this is the case of long day plant. So short day plant are very strict and long day plant are partly facultative. Now you can see more clearly here. Effect of darkness duration on flowering. SDP is short day plant, LDP is long day plant. Treating SDP and LDP with different photo period shows that critical variable is darkness period. Light does not matter much. It is darkness period necessary for flowering. Now see the first case. In the first case, this is your total 24 hours and you got longer darkness period, shorter light period. So here you see flowering happened in short day plant. They are happy if you increase the darkness period. They are not depending upon light much. They want more darkness period. But see the long day plant. They mind it because they want shorter, darker period. So they remain in vegetative stage. They could not flower. But see the second case. If the darkness period is very small darkness period. So SDP will not flower. But long day plant don't mind darkness period. They need very smaller dark period. Third case, you see darkness was there enough for longer time. But you have given a flash of light during darkness period. So SDP mind it. Short day plant will not flower because they want longer nights, continuous dark period. But LDP, they don't mind. They will flower even in it because they need shorter period of darkness. Then another case, you can see the darkness period is like this. In between, you have given more light. Than the previous case. So they mind, this SDP mind, they will not flower. But LDP, no problem, I will flower. You give me as small period of darkness as possible. See the another case, no flowering and flowering happens. So it is easy to explain. The last case you can see, you give more dark period, reduce the light period, short day plant flower, but here they do not flower because you have exceeded the critical limit. You have exceeded the critical limit of dark period. So therefore LDP, they want shorter nights. This LDP wants shorter dark period. Hope you understood it. Now next factor of growth is, do you have any question on light? Quality I forgot, I think. Quality I forgot. Quality I can explain you here. So light quality, you know, there are 7 colors in light, and people have done research. And if you remember in plant physiology, your teacher must have taught you that under which kind of light photosynthesis rate is maximum. Is it red or blue?
Red light.
Sir, blue and red both have
Okay.
and
Yeah, I think the answer, I cannot say who is right, who is wrong. So I request you to check it. It is easy to check these days and verify it. Okay. I'm not sure what I will say now. In my view, it may be blue light, but you please check it. Because in some places, it is also said that red light gives you maximum photosynthesis. So please check it. I'm not sure about the answer. But one thing is sure, that under certain light colors, you will have higher rate of photosynthesis. Under certain light colors, you will have less rate of photosynthesis. So green is the light where you have lowest photosynthesis rate. So now question come, can we make the advantage of this knowledge in practical terms? So in practical terms, it is not possible to provide red light in the field condition. How can we provide red light under field condition? First thing is, it is not possible. Second thing, if it is possible, then it will be very, very expensive to separate one light color from another. It may involve some money. It is not that easy. And then you can grow the plant under greenhouse conditions. One can try this, but under field condition, it is never possible. So it, of course, but it is a factor of growth. Now, wind is another factor, abiotic factors, you know. Wind, moving air is called as wind. You know, moving air is called as wind. It has both positive and negative effects, both positive and negative effect. So positive effect is light wind necessary to replenish CO2. If you want to bring more CO2 that has been used in photosynthesis, then you need wind so that more CO2 can come. Also, there will be circulation of CO2 and O2. If wind is there, the O2 produced by plant can go to other animals or other lives. It carries oxygen away from the plant. So it has some positive roles like less wind, less evaporation, less water requirement, wind pollination. So this is positive role. But if your wind speed is more, then or winds are warm, then they can carry your moisture. Then evaporation losses will be more. Another negative point is that lodging can happen, and sometimes winds can be stormy. Storm भी तो windy है आपका, जो तूफान आता है, जो तमाम तरह के कलकत्ता में आते हैं ना, पलाश क्या क्या नाम होता है तूफान का,
हाँ सर,
वो तो uprooting कर देता है ट्री की, तो that is also wind. Basically windy तो है, नाम तो तूफान रख दिया उसका. So that can be, means wind breaks, minimize damage. Dusting affects rate of photosynthesis. Wind can carry dust. दिल्ली में तो बहुत डस्ट आती है. हमारे दिल्ली में अगर कभी आओगे तो जो हम क्रॉप ग्रो करते हैं, कई बार दिक्कत आती है. जर्नल्स डू नॉट एक्सेप्ट पेपर्स आल्सो. वो कहते हैं डेली कंडीशन मींस यू विल हैव डस्ट on the leaves and photosynthesis will be affected. So wind can have some adverse effect under certain cases. Pollination के लिए जरूरी है, seed dispersal के लिए जरूरी है. So overall it has more positive roles than negative roles. Negative role तो एक ही नजर आ रहा है जो आपका ये जो lodging वगैरह में करती है. Otherwise most roles are positive. या कभी तूफान आ जाए, wind आ जाए, then. But it is a growth factor. Next is composition of atmosphere, your air. So composition of atmosphere means how much CO2 is there. So to be very simple, as CO2 concentration increases in atmosphere, photosynthesis increases. People have done a lot of research on this subject, and they have found that up to 1500 ppm, if you increase carbon dioxide concentration, photosynthesis increases. But this is very general statement from my side. It will vary with the plant species also. Some plant species respond better to enriched CO2 concentration, and some do not respond better. But it is a fact that photosynthesis will increase among all the plant, if you increase the CO2 concentration over the present concentration of CO2 in the atmosphere. So whatever we have now, suppose we have 450 है, कितना है इस समय CO2 concentration?
Sir, 425.
Okay, 420. Suppose from 420, if you go to 1000 ppm in any plant, photosynthesis will increase. But beyond this, if you want to go, in certain plants, in most plants, it increases up to 1000 ppm. But if you go beyond 1000 ppm, in certain plants, it increases up to 1500 ppm. But not in all plants. But in most plants, it increases up to 1500 ppm. Another point is that C3 plants benefit more. C3 plants benefit more due to increasing CO2 concentration than the C4 plants, because these C3 plants have a poor photosynthesis mechanism, which is C3 cycle, and they have photorespiration. I think you might be knowing that out of 2 molecules of glucose or carbohydrate fixed by this PGA hota hai na pehla. So one is lost.
Yes, sir.
One is lost in respiration during daytime. You understand photorespiration. So now you see more plant growth at 1000 ppm, reduction in growth at 3000 to 5000 ppm. Means there is limit. If you go too much, too high, then there will be reduction in the growth of the plant. I am giving you exact values. So now you see, as told by Kajal, now ambient CO2 is normally 420 ppm, she is saying. 400 to 420 is correct ppm in atmosphere. So most plants do adequate photosynthesis at this level. Most plants are happy at this level, but not optimal for maximum photosynthesis. You can still increase it. For most plants, increasing CO2 levels up to 700 to 1000 ppm enhances photosynthesis significantly. So you can go up to 1000 ppm, no problem. Higher CO2 concentration increase absence of Calvin cycle and reduces photorespiration in C3 plants. C3 versus C4 plant, who will respond better? C3 plants like wheat, rice benefit more from increased CO2 as they are prone to photorespiration under normal conditions. So in this case, they derive more advantage, and optimum level you can see 700 to 1200 ppm. You can remember this level. Sometimes you will get in quizzes and here and there. 700 to 1200 ppm is the optimum level of CO2 for C3 plant. Now, C4 plants like maize, they already have very efficient photosynthesis system. So they have a mechanism to concentrate CO2 internally. So they benefit less from the elevated CO2 levels. For them, optimum level of CO2 is 400 to 700 ppm carbon dioxide concentration. Now, what is saturation point? Let us see what is saturation point of CO2. So it is actually more than 1200 to 1500 ppm. Rate of photosynthesis plateaus. You cannot go beyond 1200 ppm. This rate of photosynthesis plateaus, means maximum. It cannot increase further for most plants because other factors such as light, nutrients, and temperature become limiting. You must be knowing about the law of minimum or law of limiting factors. So it is not possible to increase yield or growth when there is one other input levels are at lowest amount or minimum. I'll speak on that. So this is 1200 to 1500 ppm. Next factor is biotic factor. So we have finished abiotic factors completely. Now biotic factors can also affect the yield. It is much easier for agronomy student to understand these biotic factors as weed compete for light, for nutrients, for water, for space. Therefore, they reduce the growth and yield of the crop. And they do not stop here also. They can reduce the quality also. Protein content kam kar sakta hai dane. So weeds affect. Similarly, insect pest disease, they also reduce the growth. You know, they can reduce the height, they can reduce the leaf formation, they can suck the sap of the leaves, they can degreen the leaves. So a lot of damage is done by these pests. They can reduce the growth and yield. Similarly, domestic and wild animals, sometimes they can go to the field, they can graze your crop. So grazing हो गया तो growth तो अपने आप कम हो जाएगी. Management factor, your all agronomic factors, what you study in agronomy, where you want to increase the yield, you want to optimize the factors, the level of different factors. So if you have better varieties, better seed quality, better growth, means if you have many of this, optimum seed rate will give you maximum growth. It is not that high seed rate will give you better growth or low seed rate. You need to optimize similarly nutrient management and management of disease insect pests. Those farmers who can manage it, on one side they were damaging, but if you can manage them, we can have better growth. Crop rotations are good for better yields and growth. I discussed already other day, soil organic matter, increase the organic matter, add manures, physical, chemical, biological quality of soil improve, and then you can overcome soil related problems. Socio-economic factors are also important as a growth factor. Means how much rich a farmer is, how much literate, what is the education level of farmer. Normally educated and trained farmers can grow crops in better way. So crop of educated and better trained farmer will have better growth than the farmer who is not having these. Poor farmer and rich farmer. Rich farmer can afford resources, modern seed, hybrid seed, poor farmer. So there will be difference in the crop. Loans and credits, if available to the farmer, they can buy inputs, their crops can be better. And farmers who are poor, less educated, and so on. So whatever negative points are there, socio-economic negative points, they can affect the growth adversely. So you can try to understand all these points. And so 1 minute is left. I think we finished in time. I took, I think, 3 lectures on this. It took really very long time to deliver. Next time I will teach you law of diminishing return. Tomorrow I am going to TV. At 6, you will get Sach Ka Samne program on TV. I am frequent visitor of DD Kisan, radio, farmer lecture, this and that. So tomorrow we can decide some other time. In the forenoon, if you want, I can take. Otherwise, we will take day after tomorrow.
Okay, sir.
It's up to you. Means tomorrow forenoon. No, I'm not free. We'll fix on day after tomorrow. Okay. We'll fix class on for Friday. Tomorrow we will decide in the group. You can put Jyoti also in the group. So we can decide in the group the common time acceptable to all 4 people. Okay. If you want, you can bring your more friends also. If they are interested, I have no problem. I do not mind. Okay. So thank you.
Sir.
Have a nice time and goodbye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Sir.
Thank you, sir.
Jyoti?